Hello, and welcome to Warrior Radio. It's the first episode of the Tribe Talk podcast. Here with me I have...
I'm Olivia Shaw.
I'm Salome Stork.
I'm Ellie Grace Goodwin.
And I'm your host, Blake Ellis. So let's get into things. Before we get started, I have to clear my legal obligations by saying Tribe Talk is a student forum for student expression. The students make all content decisions which do not reflect the opinions of Wando High School or CCSD. With that out of the way, let's talk about you guys, just so people know who we are. Okay. So Olivia.
Oh, I have to start. Okay, so what I edit mostly for Tribe Talk. I want to direct eventually. I'm still getting used to cameras, and I'm gonna create the credits for the ends of episodes.
Yeah. Salome.
Right now I'm editing AP, so that's mainly what I do. Except I kind of want to get into reporting. So.
Cool.
I am on the Sports Talk staff, and I also am one of the social media coordinators.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Blake Ellis. I'm the news director of Tribe Talk. So let's get into, let's talk about the hurricane.
All right.
So what's the name of the hurricane?
Harvey.
Hurricane Harvey is in Texas right now, and this is kind of a platform that we can use to spread news and information. So the Red Cross is looking for donations. There's a lot of fake donation websites out there. So go to the Red Cross. That's a good, reputable charity. So, do y'all know anyone affected by it, or?
I don't,
really.
But
it looks bad.
Yeah, this morning I heard that I think it's
Irma.
Mattress Firm or something.
Oh yeah.
Donated $1 million worth of product to victims, so that includes blankets and pillows.
Can we talk about Irma?
I don't know anything about. Okay, wait, no, you said.
I actually did see on the news last night that there was this old man who had a furniture store, like a huge warehouse, and he opened it up to everyone in the community, and there's people just like in there on his furniture, and I thought that was really nice that he would do that.
That's cool.
Considering that's his business.
Natural disasters, of course, are a disaster, but I feel like they do bring people together. So
yeah, I remember even after Matthew,
side.
Everyone had that to talk about, and everyone had that in common, and I think that definitely brings a community together.
Can we talk about? Do y'all know anything about Irma? So it's a hurricane. From everything that I know, it's a hurricane from Africa, moving its way across.
I thought its name was Gert.
No, there's two. Okay, one of them is a tropical
two?
storm. One of them is a hurricane, and they're
the
both.
Hurricane is Category 3 right now.
Yeah, and they're both. I think.
But by the time that they get to us, it's going to be a 5.
Yeah, some projections. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, but some projections have it coming as a Cat 5 right over us.
Yeah.
Right over Charleston.
Wait, how high does the scale go? Is Cat 5 like the highest?
Yeah, Category 5.
Oh,
and
no.
it's kind of like they do earthquakes, I believe. So it's exponentially worse.
Yeah. Well, they said that Matthew was going to be like storm of the century, but
that was a Category 1, and so many people evacuated.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, the thing is, it was like Matthew was super. Sorry.
So it's okay. You can never like be too cautious.
You're right.
Yeah, Matthew was super high when. I think Matthew was like a super high like on the scale when it touched like the coast, and then because it kept along the coast, it died down from like being on land. So that's why it was like a Cat 1 when it got to us. But if like this one doesn't touch anything else, it might still be like what they predict. And I think they're supposed to get to us in like a couple weeks. I don't know exactly.
What it's predicting is some really nice waves all next week. So, I mean, whether or not there's a hurricane, I'm going to be surfing.
Oh my gosh.
Like, there's like 8-foot waves at Folly Beach.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm sure a bunch of people from Wando will be there.
And there's like 7-foot waves at IOP, so I'm surfing. I might go surfing in about an hour or so.
Nice.
All right. You guys know about the Warrior. All right, so for those of you guys who don't know, we are Wando High School Wando Warriors. Our mascot is an Indian. We are the Warriors. Our football team is the Warriors. We are Tribe Talk. Everything's very Indian themed.
Yeah.
Because we are where the Wando Indians used to be. Right near the Wando River. Wando. We are Wando. And the Indian's supposed to represent being proud and brave and things like that, walking the warrior way. Recently, there's been some controversy over the mascot. Because it is an Indian, it's almost like the same problem that the Redskins ran into.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been some petitions to
Get rid of
it and some petitions to keep it. And before I go into that, what's y'all's opinion on the mascot?
I definitely think that we should keep it. Wando has been a very established school for many, many years, and we've never run into this problem before. So I don't think it should become a bigger problem now. Also, considering that, we're not bringing down this culture in any sort of way.
Yeah.
We're celebrating it, making it into something, representing it as something very good. Considering that we do live right next to the Wando River, and we are where the Wando Indians used to live, I think we're doing nothing but celebrating that and not bringing it down in any sort of way.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, I feel like I'm just questioning why this wasn't a problem 25 years ago. And,
Right.
Basically, I do find it appropriate considering where we live. So we live by the Wando River, where tribes were. And the only problem that I see with it is, like, the first football game, senior girls wearing pillowcases to be, like, Indians. That's the only problem that I could see with it. It doesn't offend me personally because I don't relate to it at all, but I definitely understand how it could upset minorities because most girls don't know about the mass Holocaust that happened once English settlers came here and also enslaving them and taking their land. But I think that we should definitely keep the mascot, just make the outfits a little more appropriate or inform people about what it means.
I mean, I kind of feel the opposite to you guys. I think it is kind of like, I don't know if I'd go as far to say cultural appropriation. I don't know enough about like the subject and the background and what cultural appropriation versus appreciation really means. I'm not like super well versed, so I don't want to speak for it like that. But I think, like when we talk about like Native Americans and like how they walk the Trail of Tears and like all the Europeans that came over, they like mass killings, like it was so bad. And I get like when we talk about like being a warrior, it's about being proud and stuff like that, but also it's like when you dress up in like that's like traditional like clothing, it's like
Definitely,
religious, it's like they used in battles, which I get for like relating football to battles. I don't know if I would like do that because I feel like that's kind of
Definitely.
far, but it's like when people wear the feathers in their hair and they do like the face paint, like that was sacred to them, and I don't know if like using it the way we are using it is appropriate.
Yeah.
I'm with LA Grace and Salome on this one. I think that it's in just another event of extreme political correctness.
Yeah.
Not that I'm. It's not like you see these people; they aren't trying to offend anybody. It's
Yeah.
just extreme political
I
correctness.
feel like things have always been offensive. It's just now that people are getting a little too
More
I
open.
think that
offended.
like the whole
Right.
culture behind politically correctness and that whole like thing, that whole movement is like getting too much, and now it's like why do people care now?
Yeah, I feel
Right.
like people, high schoolers should take their time more wisely to focus on issues that
There is real racism, right?
Yes.
Like there's these petitions to fight real racism, but we live in Charleston, South Carolina, in
and instead
the
we have
deep
to
South.
focus
There
on-
is racism.
Yeah.
And I feel like people should be confronting that in some way instead of creating petitions. Now, we are only 4 people. We do not represent Wando as a whole. Caddy Walker from Charleston, South Carolina, created a petition on change.org to change Wando High School's mascot. It has 451 backers.
Yeah, and it has a lot of backlash too.
Keep Wando High, like an anti-petition to keep it, currently by Sam Overman. Keep Wando High School's mascot currently has 5,000 backers.
Yeah.
So let me read some of the comments from.
What is like our school population?
We have about 5,000, like more than 4,000.
So like alumni and
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
Or
read.
people
So these are from
are
people
voting
not
for
just
this too.
from Mount
Yeah.
Pleasant, Charleston, South Carolina. These are people from across the nation. You can see that some of these people are like, I'm a Wando alumni, or like, I'm
Yeah,
a parent.
yeah.
What were we gonna say, Lizzie?
Oh, I was just gonna say like because 5,000, I was like that's like a lot of people don't
Yeah.
even know about the petitions. Like I didn't know about it till you guys like brought it up a couple days ago.
Right.
So
I didn't
it's
either.
yeah. So like 5,000 is like a lot, but they're not necessarily like from Wando. So I
Yeah.
don't know if they necessarily should like have a say. I don't want to be like, oh, like no one who isn't here shouldn't be able to say something. But that's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Wando High School being the only high school in Mount Pleasant affects not only the students but the entire community of Mount Pleasant.
Because we aren't the only Warriors. We aren't
Yeah.
the only
Right.
high school with an Indian
Yeah.
mascot.
Yeah.
There's another school, Walkmall, that has the exact same logo and everything as us.
Oh, I didn't
like,
know that.
yeah, I've seen their cheerleading team. They're very good, but it's like we're not the only school, so we shouldn't be the only one who is facing this issue.
Yeah.
But being a big high school in this community, I just think that the community should be able to say, like what you were saying, like how they shouldn't necessarily have a say. I think they should, just for the reason that it affects them as well. You know, like
Yeah.
you see signs all around town, Wando home game, go Warriors, you know, companies and parents and, you know, alumni,
Yeah.
right? Like,
I meant
also
people.
should have a say.
I meant people who are like across the United States, like who like have no interaction with Wando. You know what I mean? Like not. I think people in the community, because it is their community, they should have a say. But I meant like people who are like far away, who just like heard about it and are like, you know, this is what I, you know, that
There have
that
been
kind
like
of thing.
larger Instagram like followings that have posted about basically our mascot and saying like, what is this? Like, this isn't right.
I've seen on my side. I've seen like not only on like the Wando Snapchat and like everyone's Instagram. It's just like back and forth, like
Yeah.
screenshots, like girls, you know, Wando girls that like friends that like I know my friends. Someone will screenshot their post and be like, these people don't even know how offensive they are. So, let me read some quotes from the petition to change the Warrior. One of the comments is, isn't it about time someone spoke about this? Racism continues to grow unabated in this country. Kids learn in elementary school that racism is unacceptable, then they're in high school that is just fine. Is that really okay? And who hasn't spoken out against it at the risk of losing popularity? I support this petition 100%. That was 4 days ago by Wendy Walker of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Here's what I have to say about that. When, you know, the girls that dress up for Indians or whatever, it's not like they're being like, oh, like we're making fun of
Oh,
this.
yeah,
Like,
it's not.
they're not trying
it's
to
not
be
that.
like that.
It's just, you know, dressing up in a Halloween costume. Like people dress up as, you know.
It's like if I dress up as, all right, it's like dressing up as Hitler. He's a genocidal maniac. You know, no one
Yeah.
dresses up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't personally have compared it to a Halloween
because
costume.
culture is not a costume.
Well, no,
Yeah,
that's
that's
not like
true.
that's not what I
Culture's
went.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
understand.
that's not what
I understand.
I was just saying like it's just like
That's what you meant
it's
for
fun. It's
yeah.
not to make fun of anybody
Yeah.
or
No
try to
one's
offend
trying to be
anyone.
hurtful.
It's not like that in
Yeah.
that sort of way.
It's not like we're like making. It's all every time we talk about Indians, Native Americans, warriors, are in a positive way. So this is what the petition to keep Wando High School's mascot says. Some students at Wando High School believe that the warrior mascot is racist. The warrior mascot represents pride, excellence, strength, as well as much more to those who live the warrior way and walk the warrior walk. And he continues about, he continues by breaking down the argument from to change. Here is a really good comment it's from Delaney Zepp of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, and they say, I am now an alum. We are Wando Warriors. This mascot has been a part of Wando for 45 years and has been a part of thousands of kids' lives. I visit other towns in South Carolina, and they all know what Wando is. Without question, I pride myself on saying that I'm a Wando Warrior, as do many people attending and graduating from Wando High School.
I definitely agree with that. Feel like we are something that basically shows leadership and
Right.
basically fighting our own battles along with like sports and football and
Yeah. I don't know necessarily. Like Wando is very well known about around South Carolina. We knew that from like going to competitions and stuff. Like people always know who we are, and we are known as like Wando or like Wando Warriors. And I don't know if necessarily like our mascot is attached to that. I think that's like part of it, but I think our name is like what's the most well known. That's in my opinion. That's
Our mascot used to be, like our logo used to be an Indian head,
yeah.
and it had like the headdress, and it looked awesome. And it said Wando Warriors, right?
Right.
But, you know, like, I think something like this came up a while ago, and so they changed it to almost like the Furman logo, where it's a big W and the diamond, like the
Yeah.
like
yeah.
the one that is used in the Warrior
All around school
radio
like, yeah.
podcast. Yeah. I think that is better. You know,
Yeah.
we can't necessarily brand a culture.
Yeah.
Like I think Wando Warriors is different than like the Washington Redskins. They had that big debate. You know, Redskin is kind of like a racial slur.
That
for an
is
Right.
Indian.
Yeah.
racial
That's
slur.
different. You know,
Yeah.
Warrior, it's a positive thing. And then
Yeah.
like we depict, you know, these warriors as like we don't have like a full Indian. It's just like the face at most, and it's like really like awesome and you know like proud.
Right.
It's not like a Washington Redskin where it's
Yeah.
like this goofy looking Indian
Yeah,
logo.
there are warriors in like different cultures
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah, I don't
Like
think
you can
it's
really
it's not just specified to Native Americans.
Right, you can think of a warrior and think of it
Yeah.
in many different ways. You can think of an American troop as being a warrior,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's not,
it's not attached to the Native American
Right.
symbol or idea.
but I think here it is just because of the location.
Yeah,
So,
All right, let's read one last quote from Chris S. Storm of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. They say, "This is not racism. Racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on what they believe, based on the belief that one's own race is superior. Nothing about a symbolic mascot depicts this. The world we live in is sad that this is our focus." I think that last part is
Yeah. Yeah.
right. It really just kind of
Yeah.
gets,
Clinches it.
yeah.
yeah.
As high schoolers, we can definitely make time for issues that are a bit bigger than this. And that's all I have to say about that.
I think that like how you guys were talking earlier about how like there's other things we should be worried about. I think you can be worried about everything. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to limit yourself to like one thing. Like you can, because we are high schoolers, this is like where we're starting to be adults. Like I think we should form our own opinions and like try to do something that we think is right while like we're still growing. So I don't know. I feel like this is sad that this is happening. I don't know if necessarily I would agree with that because like it has been brought up before. Like we did, Tribe Talk did a story about it, I think, right?
We
A
did
while
surround
Yeah.
last year, I believe.
So I don't know if like it's sad that it's happening because it's like people are still thinking about it. People are like considering what it means. I don't think it's like people are trying to be correct. People are trying to like in their mind do what they think is the most like is the least offensive, you know? So I don't think like it's sad. I don't know.
It is sad, and I think it's not going to end up changing, honestly, because there's 5,000 people currently that say keep, and then 200. What was it?
451.
450 that say change, and I don't even think that the Wando administration ever planned on this happening or planned on there being a voting to change it. But I don't think there's going to be enough to change it. I don't think anything's going to come out of this except just fighting and bickering with each
Yeah.
other.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, anyone else have anything to add?
I think we pretty much summed it up.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole argument.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next topic, which is, I gotta tell you guys, I've lived here my whole life. I remember when 17, which is the road, our main road was just a 4-lane road with no divider in the middle. I remember when the Walmart wasn't even there yet. I remember when my, you know, like there's Carolina Park. I remember riding my bike through there because there's also trees, right?
Right.
And now it's crazy. There's 6 lanes of traffic and
Yeah.
everywhere. The traffic is crazy. Why? Well, Mount Pleasant is growing a lot.
Who?
Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
What did I say?
Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant's growing a lot, and actually, the motto is Cresco, which means we grow.
Oh.
We are growing.
I didn't know that.
Wow,
I know
fun
that,
fact.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
Well,
like
it
Crisco.
sure is
Yeah, I was
true.
about to-
yeah, and everyone has a strong opinion. You see, like a lot of a lot of people have stickers on their car that say "Go back to Ohio."
Oh.
And
Oh,
honestly,
whoa.
I have strong opinion. I'm on that side.
Oh my
Go back
gosh.
to
I
Ohio.
feel like Ohio
Yeah.
should just have their own borders. Like,
Yeah, just,
Here's what I feel about
let's
that.
build a wall around Ohio to just keep them in Ohio.
Oh no.
Keep them in.
Oh no.
Here's what I have to say about that. The only thing that makes it so stereotypical, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
is that I feel like a lot of people move down here and then try to make change based on how it used to be back in Ohio. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like that's the main
Wait,
issue.
why
If
do we
they
keep
came-
saying they're from Ohio?
So,
Okay,
Ohio-
all right.
Because
So
that's
I'm not gonna lie.
it's a
The large
stereotype.
majority it is a
It's
stereotype.
Ohio.
Oh, okay. Because like I've never met anyone from Ohio here. I'm just
You're so lucky. Wow.
Actually, one of my best friends is from
I
Ohio.
I
gotta
have
tell you,
nothing
like,
against people
if-
from Ohio.
yeah. I don't.
It's just like I don't hate for people from Ohio. I have family in Ohio. I don't like, I just gotta tell you, like, the people here are really nice. If you meet like locals here that have
Mount
lived here their
Pleasant
whole
people.
life,
Yeah.
Mount
Right.
Pleasant people and Charleston people are really nice people.
They have a different appreciation
Yeah,
for
they
the
have a different
area
appreciation for
Yeah.
the area
and what
the
it
people,
used to be.
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
appreciate like having a conversation.
People
with
are
someone.
friendly.
Right.
They're
Yeah,
friendly.
and I feel like I have family in Ohio, and I go to Ohio, and I don't get that.
Yeah,
And
it's like
it's
everyone
just-
is so
Like needs that attention.
like
doesn't
self-centered.
get it.
Not self-centered, but to the point where
No, they care
if I
about
were to
others.
go like to Ohio and like wave to someone on the street, they'd be like, "Wait, why is this girl waving at me?"
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
We're
I
just
don't.
dissing Ohio.
I don't think.
No, but it's like a.
Yeah, that's what.
But
this
it's-
is
That's just what I
becoming.
said. Sorry.
I feel
Sorry,
like it's
keep
a
going.
northern stereotype.
It's just
as
like
well.
a-
like coming from
Yeah.
the South, and people in the North would be like, "Oh, those Southerners are kind of crazy. They
Yeah.
talk to strangers."
I mean,
like
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's both ways
Yeah,
too.
yeah, like different customs. Like I think because yeah, if you, I'm not saying like I don't know if like you wave to someone on the street there, they're like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" But it might just be like people just aren't like that. It's like how in the
Right.
South people say "ma'am" and "sir,"
Yeah.
and like in other places they don't. But if like you were in a place here in the South that was like very Southern, like very traditional, and you didn't say that, people would be like, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
being very rude." But
Yeah.
if you
Right.
go to like somewhere in like New York or California and you're like, "Ma'am" or "sir," they're like, "Oh, you're being so fancy."
Well,
Like
I in the North when you say like ma'am or sir, they kind of find that a little like
They think it's too much.
offsetting.
yeah,
because-
so it's just like different like customs where you come from. I don't think people are trying to be rude. It's just like
I feel like
Yeah.
we had like we're just getting diluted.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just,
sorry.
I was
It's getting
thinking that. I
diluted.
was just
Sorry.
Like, nothing against them. It's just like the good population.
oh no, not the good population.
Like sorry.
Where are
like,
you
like,
from?
I'm from
The-
California. Like I'm not from here.
How long have you lived here?
Like 7-8 years now.
Have you?
Or no, wait, sorry, 10 years now. Yeah.
How you've seen it grow?
Sorry, I'm thinking
Wait.
I'm opposite.
You've seen
yeah.
it grow since you've been here.
Yeah, it's definitely like apartments are popping up, like they're building new schools, like people are moving here, people are trying to find jobs. Definitely a ton of apartments while people like they stay in apartments while they look for houses.
Yeah.
So like all those like places like across from town center.
Yeah, that's
and stuff,
craziness.
It's huge.
I remember literally, I drive past there all the time.
Yeah.
I go to different stores that are on the other side of Mount Pleasant. I have a lot of friends that live over there, so I constantly drive to the other side of town. One day, I drove past there, noticed nothing out of the ordinary, and when I was coming home, the next day, I'd spent the night at my friend's house. I remember this like vividly because I remember it was like a day later. I was driving home, and I looked to my left, and all those apartments were there. I'm like, what in the world? Where
Yeah.
did this
It
come
comes
from?
out of yeah, it
That
comes out of
happens.
nowhere.
Comes-
Shady,
yeah.
shady because they do
Yeah.
it all and they keep the trees up and they're like, oh, no one can
Yeah.
complain.
Yeah, I mean,
Like that used to be woods.
yeah,
Like I
Yeah.
like near my house. I live near Carolina Park, which is this huge suburbia. And I remember when I was a kid, I was a kid, I would drive my, I'd ride my bike. I'd ride my bike through the fire trails.
Yeah.
There's trails in the middle of the woods, and it was
Yeah.
awesome.
I remember
Yeah.
And then when I could drive, I'd drive my Jeep back there in the mud and like go back there. It was a lot of fun. But like now it's just clear cut.
oh yeah.
And like I could like every night I just see deer like crawling from where their home
Yeah.
used to be.
Yep.
Like I see
Yeah.
owls flying because their homes got cut down.
I see
It's
that
like
all the time.
sad.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean like it's selfish to us to say, all right, stop growing. Let's just nobody else move here. This
Yeah.
is our place.
Because
Yeah.
like
Nobody else come.
every town, pretty much, there are exceptions, but like every town is like slowly growing. That's like I don't know. Were you guys in AP Human Geography?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he. Sorry, this is like a reference from there. He explained, Mr. Brasini, great teacher, I love him. Anyway, so he explained how like every town there's like different like names for different sizes of like cities and towns, and how there's like
Mhm.
I don't remember the specific words, but like there's mega cities that are huge, like New York, and then like smaller, like Atlanta, like LA, you know, and stuff. And then there's like smaller, and there's like tons and tons and tons of subsets of like sizes of towns, and how like I was asking him, I was like, wouldn't it be because like they all are like growing, like they all just grow, it's just like a part of like life, how like because our human population is growing, and like they all like keep getting bigger, so there's going to be like new names for even the bigger ones. And I was like, isn't it weird how like even though we feel like we're getting bigger compared to everything else, we're like still the same size because
Well,
everywhere is.
Here's what
I-
I think. Go ahead.
I read
Go
somewhere
ahead.
that Mount Pleasant is one of the fastest
Oh,
growing
yeah,
cities
it is.
in the nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're different than like the
Yeah, I think we see it more like
because it is
just
great
in our everyday
living
life.
here. Like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
we are
here. Let me
blessed.
say something about that. Actually, I was just about to say
something
this.
after
Yeah.
that.
Everyone says it's so great to live in Mount Pleasant, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I mean,
Because
I-
it's a beautiful city. We live right next to the
Definitely,
beach. We have these
definitely.
nice like
And
IOP.
we're like
we have Sullivan's.
30
we have
minutes
these-
away from downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
we have
10
that
minutes away
historic
from the beach,
charm,
like,
and you know,
southern charm in
southern
general.
charm. But
In
if we
general.
grow and continue to grow and keep growing,
Yeah,
it's gonna take the charm away.
It will.
It's gonna be just like, you know, everything's new, which is so nice, but it takes away the historic charm that we're
does.
known for.
I
And I
honestly-
think that is kind of sad.
Yeah,
You know,
I
Because
get
like
that.
living where I live in Mount Pleasant, it's
Mhm.
like the greatest. All right, Charleston's like the #1 tourist destination in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was voted by.
Yeah,
Or the country.
TripAdvisor or
In the
something.
country.
It was,
country?
it was, I think
I
it was
wouldn't
in
say in the world.
I thought it was
I
the
thought it was-
U.S.
It may possibly in the
Okay,
U.S., but
but-
still, that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's
Charleston's
huge.
amazing. I can tell you, like last weekend, like all last week, I like went downtown shopping.
Mm.
Next day, I went like biking across the bridge, and the next day, I went surfing.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
cool.
And
how
like,
we-
I could go to like where the first shots of the Civil War were ever
Mm.
fired,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
like, and then I can go surf there.
Yeah.
And, like bring my dog there. It's like, I take that for granted.
Mm.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
like,
everyone takes everything for granted.
No.
It's true.
I think about this all the time. I was born in France.
Mhm.
All my family is from France, and so basically, like my cousins or people from France that I still know and have on Snapchat and stuff, they look at my life through what I post, and they're like, "How is this possible?" Like, basically, like the American dream for
Right.
like a
It
kid.
is.
Yeah.
But
You don't even know how like grateful all of you guys are because like first of all your cars like,
right.
Mm.
that's insane. Like,
yeah.
Living here, surrounded by all these beautiful things, whenever people are like, Ellie Grace, like, you're so blessed to live here. Like, why do you take all this for granted? If I lived here, I'd walk the bridge every day. I would
Yeah,
go downtown
people say
every
that.
all
weekend.
the time.
And I have to kind of do an analogy for them so to make them understand. Like, remember when you were a kid, like, the only thing you wanted was a trampoline. Like, you wanted a trampoline. Like, your friend had a trampoline, and you're like, I want a trampoline.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you get one, and you
And
go
you're
on it for a
like-
few days, and then it sits there.
And pine
Yeah.
straw starts coming
Yeah.
down. You're
But
like,
it's like when your friend had that trampoline and you didn't have it, you're like,
Oh, you wanted
I
it
want
so
that
bad.
trampoline.
Yeah.
That's how I relate it, sort of.
I've been like trying to like break that because this is like I'm a senior. This is my last year here,
Right.
and I'm probably gonna like go wherever my work takes me. And for film, that's either New York, LA, or Atlanta.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna move to California after college.
Yeah.
So this is like my last year in South Carolina,
Mm.
and that's why like after this I'm going to surfing.
Cherish it while it
I'm
lasts.
going
Yeah.
Yeah.
surfing, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And like I really do appreciate that.
I
I'm
mean, you're
really
gonna be in
trying
California. so
Yeah,
it's
and you
not
know,
Yeah,
gone.
California's
people-
cool. I guess.
Water's very cold. Just wait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Random.
Like,
Sorry.
bro, you're good. That was good info. But I just feel like there needs to be more people like you.
What do you mean?
Like, there needs to be more people, like the kids who live here. Like, I've grown up here my entire life.
Mhm.
Like, I've lived in the same exact house since the day I was born.
Yeah.
Like, I've never moved anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, always having everything around,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like
Yeah.
I wish I appreciated it more, and I wish that I would be like
Mm.
wanting to go out and do all these different things like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I had that mindset until like this year.
Mm.
Like even last year, like I would go home and do homework and sit in my house and like do nothing. Now I go out to find a new coffee shop. I like go out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always like for photo shoots. Like I'll remember this like 'cause I do like photography for like work and stuff. And it's like I'll go out and I'm like, oh yeah, I live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. I'll go there.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
It's awesome. Hey, one last thing
Mhm.
about this topic is the people.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh.
people are pretty. I think like the people are pretty.
The general
the people,
population
like-
is attractive.
I gotta tell you, like above average looking.
What?
Like
Where
the
did
above
this come
average
from?
Charlestonian.
But it's so true.
It's
Yeah.
true. That's why it's called Mount Plastic.
Yes.
I thought it was
Like,
called
you
Mount
go
Plastic because people here are like
to-
fake nice.
Nah, that's kind of
That is true.
That's what I've
but
heard. I don't.
It's also like,
I think is maybe better than a real mean person.
and another why it's called like Mount Plastic to go along with what you were saying is like everyone is almost picture perfect. Everyone's
I feel like
Barbie
everybody-
People
plastic.
try to have the
Definitely-
perfect life.
Yeah,
They
like
take
it's like
care
keeping
of
up with the
themselves.
Joneses almost. You know what that means?
Whether they
like,
can or
Yeah.
they can't, like they try.
They
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
care of
They-
themselves.
Some people like put on the air that they do have the perfect life. Like I feel like
right.
that
That's
happens
what
a
everyone
lot.
knows. Yeah, keeping up with the Joneses, and everyone. It's like a domino effect. Like everyone is like, oh well, my neighbor has this, so I'm gonna act like I have that.
It's
You know
like
what I mean?
trends.
Yeah.
It's a
like,
trend. Yeah, definitely.
It's basically like if you've ever seen like a TV show with like a suburban mom or something, like walking her kids around. It like
That is
this
Mount
is
Pleasant.
this
Yeah.
is where
In a
it is.
nutshell.
It's like
Yeah.
my mom will see someone she knows in the grocery store, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And then you're just standing there
You
like-
could have seen them yesterday, and you happened to run into them
and
at
that's
the
just
grocery
like
store.
the Mount Pleasant mom attitude.
Yeah.
The soccer mom.
Oh,
the
The
Mount
soccer mom
Pleasant
central.
My mom is not a Mount Pleasant mom. Oh
My,
gosh.
yeah, mine
But
is
basically,
kinda.
like-
Low key, my mom is, but
A PTA mom just like loves doing everything.
Oh yeah, PTA Mom Central is
what
Mount
she can give
Pleasant.
back. So
Oh,
basically,
Not
PTA.
saying that's bad, but, like,
baby.
everyone-
Your mom was in the PTA.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go to other places and you look at the population overall, you'll be like,
no. Oh my gosh,
I don't know.
I went to
I don't
France
know.
like this December. People are so not attractive there. like
it's true that like yeah, it's kind of rude that we're saying that.
I mean,
but
But-
also like Mount Pleasant
They
beauty
don't-
standards
they don't
too.
take
Oh, yeah,
care of
Yeah.
themselves. Like,
yes.
Yeah,
That's where,
like
like-
tan, like fit, like going
And
to
if
the
you're
beach.
and if you're not, everyone judges you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
people
Like-
do.
But then
like,
they're so
judge really
fake
harsh
nice
here.
to you.
Yeah, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like, hi, how are you? And then they'll be
Oh,
like
you have
talking to
to
their
be tan.
friend.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
if you're
Fake
it's like-
tan, baby.
Yeah, I mean if you're pale, you got a
Tell me
fake tan.
outing yourself.
All the
Like-
way. No,
So
I
real
out
tan.
myself before anybody else can. Like one day I'm like really pale, the next day I'm like I came back from Brazil. Like
Yeah,
I don't
you know,
want people noticing on their own.
Once
Um,
again, Mount Plastic.
one more thing to like just diss Ohio. When I went,
Oh my gosh.
when I went to Cleveland, is like I'm not like a good
You're
looking
like-
guy. Like I'm like an average
Aw,
dude.
Blake.
Blake.
Do
But-
not
no, I'm not doing this
do
to
not
fish
dull your
attention.
sparkle. honey.
I'm like I know like I'm like an average guy, right? I went to like Cleveland, Ohio, and I felt like a god. Like
Oh,
If
no.
you go to like upstate South Carolina and you're walking at Walmart at 9 o'clock at night,
Ooh,
you will
no.
feel
yeah,
like
no,
a
Charleston
god.
is not
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Baby.
Charleston is like one special part of
Yeah,
South
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
Charleston is like
One special part of the South.
yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
it's so different from like the rest of South Carolina. I think about that sometimes how like because when you go through like the little towns and stuff or like Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm so sorry. Columbia. I know geography, I promise, but like it just like the atmosphere is so different from like Charleston. It's like so
Yeah.
different.
It
It's-
feels like
Between here and Columbia, there's nothing.
it
Yeah.
feels cold almost.
I don't-
like
Yeah.
where am I? Like, out of place.
Out of place.
yeah, you're not used to it.
Anyways, I'd like to apologize to anyone from Ohio.
Or Columbia, or the rest of South Carolina.
upstate.
Or
South
anywhere
Carolina.
that's
Or anywhere
not
in the whole
Charleston,
world.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
You
you're
know-
all beautiful.
All right.
Are you though?
No.
Stop.
Everyone's pretty in their own way.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there. Okay, keep going.
okay.
All right. So, dress code Wanda. Thoughts?
Oh boy.
Kachinga. All right. Here we go.
She got her notes ready to go.
Yeah, she has notes.
You're
Baby.
so organized. I love it.
Thank you. I try.
Next time. I will.
Basically, I used to get really upset at the dress code. That's when I found out that like feminism exists, which I'm proud to call myself a feminist, but not third wave. That's where. No, that is not me. Those are the people who represent who I am, but they are not me. Like these are the girls who get offended by anything that a man
Right.
says. They feel like they need to be better than men, but
That's not a feminist.
That's
exactly.
third wave
That's a third wave.
Third wave.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like the
guess.
same
I don't know. I
people
don't know
who
the, like,
had
the
Just
third wave.
it's basically just an extreme version of.
Oh,
any-
okay.
Yeah.
Super. Yeah.
I don't
Um,
know about that.
And it's like the same people who get offended over the Wanda mask.
Yeah. Oh,
It's just a
no.
Don't say that to me, Blake. I'm right here.
No, I feminism all the way.
Anyways,
Okay.
yes, I
You
feel
go
like
all the way.
anyone and everyone should be feminist. Like,
Exactly.
and it's to make people
Equal.
equal, not better or superior. So basically, I used to get upset at the dress code, but now I kind of realize that anyone, not just girls, would dress more provocatively if it wasn't for a dress code, and I feel like maybe their peers would lose a little respect.
Right.
Because even if it's school, this is how you present yourself. This is how you show, like, who you are. Like, I dress who I am. I'm wearing
You're gonna put your leg up.
sparkly shoes. Like,
You know? Yeah.
this is me. But I feel like girls are starting to get mad that they're in place to stop distracting students. That's why they're in place. But I feel like it's basically just a way for you to show yourself, and once you're out of high school, like, you still want to maintain that good like appearance.
Did y'all see that sign going around?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I saw a ton of them.
Where it was like, do you know more about it? What I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
What did the sign say?
I mean, it was, I don't know the words exactly, but it was like, if you are sexualizing us, meaning like from like the girls at Wanda's perspective, you are the problem because, and then like stuff like that where it's like,
it's not.
there
it's,
should be, it was like arguing the dress code.
It's not the dress code's fault that Wanda that people over-sexualize.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's
like the mentality,
But
okay, this,
you can't.
yeah, I'm not saying that like the dress code is bad because I,
No,
like, I
it's-
do
yeah,
think
people-
people shouldn't like show their like whole butts
Yes,
and stuff like
exactly.
that.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, you want school
There's
is
lines.
a professional,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's a professional
yeah.
environment. Like, even if you come here because you have to, it's still
I get that.
not
yeah.
your bedroom. Like,
Yeah.
you should come in appropriate shorts. Like, I think it's a little extreme that girls
Yeah.
are being dress coded because they're wearing gym shorts. I don't
Yeah.
think they're wearing gym shorts
Or
to
that
try to
they're
Or, like,
provocative.
shoulders.
shoulders. Their shoulders.
Yeah.
That is-
Shoulders are
It's-
not.
yeah,
They're-
it's like a
there's-
big thing in
yeah.
dress code is like, oh, you're gonna distract the boys, and that makes me very angry.
That's
because
exactly
it's like
what I
it
mean.
puts their
That's
education
If they wear
before.
things, I mean, distract us. If
And
we're gonna all gonna be honest.
Even
I mean,
boys get offended. They're like, this doesn't distract me. Like,
Yeah,
they get
because-
offended
Yeah,
that
it's
they are
not
to
fair.
blame.
It makes them
It's-
seem
yeah.
like they're animals
it's
who are
my
only
fault.
controlled by like attractive.
Like, all right,
like,
you guys are like it's my fault that you guys can't wear.
Yeah,
Like, you
Right.
need a 2-finger width. It's dumb.
yeah.
I think that is dumb, but I think
It
there's
like
certain parts that really get.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
upper thighs is, let's calm it down.
Well, like
here.
guys in the Charleston,
Oh.
South Carolina.
okay, you can.
We got
Chubbies,
skies
man.
out, thighs out.
Yeah, boys wear chubbies all day long.
Chubbies
all day
are
long.
very short
mean-
shorts that guys like to wear. They're very breezy.
It's very breezy.
I'm victim of this.
Oh no,
Oh.
Blake.
Ugh,
Remember-
Blake, he's wearing them right now.
Are
no,
you?
These are the longest shorts I have.
Wow.
He was dressing to impress today. though.
Here's what
Yesterday I
I-
wore a
like-
bathing suit, which I
You
got,
wait? Did you wear a bathing
Guys
suit
do
to
that
school?
though. Like, I even
Yeah.
bought my
Yeah.
brother a bathing suit. I'm like, these
I-
would be really cute as shorts. Put them on.
Yeah.
My
Exactly.
shorts
Like-
that I normally wear is I get them for $5 at Walmart, and then I get my grandma Gigi to hem them. This is really
That's
short
adorable.
Shorts. Not gonna-
Gigi.
Aw, that's
Gigi,
kinda
I love
cute.
Gigi.
Here's what I have to say about guys being distracted.
Mm.
Like,
I think it's rude.
like
to
no
guys.
matter
Yeah,
what a girl
yeah.
is wearing, if a guy like thinks a girl's pretty, he's gonna look at her anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what she's wearing. Would you agree with that?
I've never met someone who's like, man, I would have done better on that test, but Ellie Grace's shoulders.
Oh my
that
gosh.
makes-
Oh,
like, exactly.
I know, look at
What-
them, y'all.
what
Like,
did I do?
but it's like, you know, like,
It's
yeah, if I have a crush on someone, like, I'm gonna look at them, but
it like their
I'm not gonna
clothing-
blame that for me failing a test. Like,
Yeah.
I was just so distracted. I was looking at so and so, and I just like can't. You know,
Yeah.
it's not.
And it's like it makes it's bad because like it makes girls feel like sexualized, like their bodies
Objects.
are objects. Yes, objects. And then it makes boys feel like it implies that they have no self-control, which is rude. Like that's
Yeah.
not a nice thing to like.
There's a lot of guys that have so much self control. It's unbelievable. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
not
it's not.
all guys are.
Again,
perverts.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
Teenage boys, they know exactly what they want. and,
Yeah, not all
like,
teenage boys are like that. That's a stereotype.
Yeah.
Hats.
Hats.
All right, so
Hats are whack.
well,
like,
all right, hold
Hats
up.
are whack.
I like work with a hat company, right? And like this guy
Oh
is
Lord,
really
he's
cool,
about to get triggered.
right?
No, oh, okay.
And it's like all about like beating mental health awareness. Like we've made hats for like, you know, Wando alumni that passed away. and,
Yeah,
like,
you're trying to
it's
put
all
good stuff
for a
on them.
good thing.
Yeah.
Almost all the money goes to charity.
Mhm.
And like I can't even wear a hat that has like the name of like a
Yeah.
like a Wando alumni that has passed away. Like I can't even wear that hat.
Yeah.
It's not just like I get like dumb hats, but it's like I'm
Yeah.
just wearing like a hat because I'm like outside a lot
Yeah.
filming and like they take the hat.
Yeah.
3 days ago,
Outside?
I was in the
Not
hall.
outside.
No,
Inside.
3 days ago, I was in the main hallway,
Mm.
and I saw an administrator just take a hat off
They
a
keep
kid,
'em.
and then just keep walking.
Did you know? Okay, I don't know if this is true, but I've been told by like several people and teachers that the administrators at the beginning of the year had a running bet to see how many hats they could like collect,
That's
like
terrible.
between them.
See, it's terrible.
Yeah, and like
And hats are not cheap. I have hats that are like $30.
Yeah.
yeah, especially like
But even like baseball caps, like everyone in Charleston
Yeah.
wears the Shades
Oh, yeah.
hats.
The-
Like everyone, they're just like a
Cap.
baseball cap, but they're like
That's me.
Like-
yeah.
I got a
Blake-
black.
Blake
I
always
got. I
has a
got to tell
hat.
you. I got like I have like 40 hats.
Yeah,
oh
But-
yeah, I feel like every single guy does.
Yeah.
Every guy that has hair like that
Got a
has a
Patagonia hat,
collection
a
of
Patagonia
hats.
hat.
Yeah, sorry to
the
be like-
justification I have heard, I'm like I don't know if I agree. I have no idea. Like
It's a security camera.
it's a yeah, because I've been told from teachers that the reason that this is a rule is because like security cameras, if a kid does something bad, then the security cameras, the people will like take a picture of their face and send it in an email around to all the teachers and see if any of the teachers can identify them, and if they're wearing a hat, that makes it harder. So that's what I've heard. Like that's why I've heard why. I don't know. That's
I didn't even think about that.
I mean,
Man,
Which,
I
like-
wish like
I didn't know
it. Take them.
it doesn't seem like it'd be that big of a problem. Like kids aren't out here like doing graffiti on the walls like every day, but
Yeah, I
I get
don't
like
see-
why they need
Like
to know
if there's
who
a
it
fight
is.
in Wando, it's like
Oh yeah.
it's like
Your hat's
everyone
about to
is.
come
And,
off.
well, also,
like,
if there's a fight at Wando, people are recording it. They're gonna
Yeah.
figure out who you are.
But like,
Yeah, I
like
mean-
the whole
But-
thing, it was bad last year where they told you to take it off,
Yeah.
and now it's
They're just
worse.
They're
snatching
just
it.
taking it. I
Just
think
snatching
I
it.
think
No-
they should just warn you. Be like, hey,
They,
Yeah, I
they
think
don't even give you a warning.
Yeah.
They just take
That's
it.
too
walk.
far.
yeah, that's like your personal
Definitely.
property.
It is.
Also,
yeah, are they like allowed to do
Yeah,
that?
okay.
And where do you get it
there's
back?
this
I don't know.
there's this
You
thing.
don't like you get it back.
I
Yeah,
would
you
start
don't.
a petition.
Well, I don't know if this is like true, but what I've always thought about like the personal property thing, it's like how they can search our lockers, our cars, our book bags at any time and take whatever they want. It's like as soon as it crosses onto Wando property, it's like they can do what they want with it. I don't know if that's true, but
I
that's
guess
always what's been like
that's
told
where-
to me.
I guess that's why they
I
can
don't
take
know.
like our phones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if they have like I don't even know if they need suspicion. I think they do,
Just take
but
it.
like they're just allowed to like have it, which I don't know. I get like safety reasons, but also it's like personal private property, man. Like treat us like people, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, animals.
Sorry, but
It is hard to get like 5,000 people under control and find
yeah,
over.
yeah.
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, next topic, I guess.
Yeah.
All
What
right, do y'all drive to school?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so
Element.
I'm a huge car fan, right? Love driving. Drive to Wando.
Mhm.
Wando can't drive.
No.
I gotta tell you, I
Can't relate
had
to this.
we have a couple car lots at our school. One's A and B lot for almost all juniors, C and D lot, and then E lot, and those are for seniors.
Yeah, A lot's for like football. C
Yeah,
and
A
E's like
lot's
band
for
and
athletes.
art.
Sports.
Yeah.
B lot is where all like the
Mayhem
I'm in B lot. It
happens.
sucks.
the grunt of the people go. I gotta tell you, people don't know how to drive. I witnessed
No.
several car accidents
Yeah, just in the parking lot
just
alone.
in the parking lot.
Yeah, it's
And just to like give y'all a little picture of how big our parking lots are, we have 5 parking lots, and each one of them is probably the size of an average school parking lot. Just one of them.
yeah.
It's
And we
like-
have 5 of them. So
And they're-
we have
like,
wrecks
B lot's like
constantly.
They're packed.
B
They're
lot's
full.
like 2 football fields,
Yeah, it
Mhm.
is.
and it's a car hit me once.
Oh, like
no.
you as a person or your
Well,
car?
My friend got hit by a car in the parking lot the other day.
Oh my gosh.
They
Well-
ran into her and she was like,
Well, I was like,
Yeah.
it was like the line wasn't moving.
They're aggressive.
They are.
So my friend of mine gets out,
Mhm.
and like some car hits behind me, and like almost like hurts her ribs, and like I was at a complete stop,
no.
and like they just nailed into me.
it's
I have-
people who
Did
get
you,
on
like,
their phone and
get-
don't
Well,
pay
I have a Jeep,
Yeah.
so like I have a big steel bumper in the back.
So you were okay.
Yeah, and they have like a little tiny Volvo, and like it crunched like the first. It's called a
It
quarter
was
panel.
actually LA
It
crazy.
crunched like the whole front panel in. They couldn't open their door. Like their car looked like it got in a bad accident.
Ooh.
Mine was fine.
Oh no.
Gosh.
But like it was
Uh-huh.
still like a car hit me.
Yeah,
Like, that's
it's
bad.
yeah.
Shouldn't happen.
And like
Yeah.
I've witnessed car accidents, and it's like I've witnessed someone like Like I was trying to get in
Yeah.
in front because there's like all these lines, and the guy just like he floors it to like not let me in.
Yeah, people just
and
like go.
He nails the car in front of him. And just like so I couldn't get it was like a friend too, like I kinda knew him and I was like, I'm getting in. And he's like, nope, he floors it, hits the car in front, and then the girl opens like her window, turns around, and he's like, I hate your hitch, you're good. Like like the whole car like shook and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Yeah,
they're just so
and-
used to car accidents that that's
Yeah,
People-
that's
yeah.
not.
It's a great,
Yeah.
like, yeah, because, like, people, like, because, you know, it's, like, when people are, like, pulling out, like, you know, the side of B-Lot where it's, like, people are going onto the main road to get out.
Yes.
And it's, like, you're supposed to, like, let a car, you know, every other car is supposed to, like, let a car in front of them from, like, the little lanes. And it's, like, that does not happen. Like, you could sit there for, like, 10 minutes and people aren't going to let you out. Like, people are rude about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah,
I
just
know.
people like.
What time do y'all get home?
I have an early out so I can get home whenever. But a lot of
I
the times I
have
stay after.
cheer every day after school, so
Alright,
I get
this
home
is
at like
not
6.
useful.
I don't, like, because also I'm a new driver. Like, I only got my, like, I got my, like, full license today. No, I had my restricted, though, like, for, like, a month or two.
I do not have any
But so like I try to be cautious, and I like when I drive I take like the easiest ways because it's what I feel more comfortable doing. So I'll wait for like a lot of people to get out because I don't feel comfortable with like the chaos. So like I won't. This is maybe an exaggeration, and I'm probably like overdramatic, but I don't get out of the parking lot till like 4:30 sometimes.
Oh no, I know
No,
that's not an
yeah.
exaggeration.
like
I
First
have
day of school.
known like
Yeah.
people who like don't get home until like 5 o'clock.
I don't like.
And-
Depending on if they live on the other side of Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
School
And
gets
have
out-
park and be lot.
School gets out at 3:40 and
3:45.
3:45.
Yeah.
I get
And-
home at 3:50. I asked my brother to pick me up.
How do you?
He picks
what?
me up on the other side of the CAS, like on like the main road,
Oh.
and I'm home at like
That's-
in
yeah.
5
And,
minutes.
like-
Darrell Creek.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
you're
we
right.
live in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, there's like always a ton of traffic to like where I live. Like
It's
Dunes
so
West is like
fast.
flooded. Like the
Oh, yeah.
road, like
I live on
Riverton
Highway
and stuff.
41,
oh yeah.
so it's awful.
It's
like,
people say Highway 41 is a parking lot. Like
Yeah.
that's like a
yeah,
thing.
you it's standstill.
Yeah.
Another thing about Mount Pleasant is that if you want to get to your friend's house, it's going to take you 15-20 minutes. Like
Everyone
no-
lives far apart.
Except in other towns, like you just walk down the street and you're at your friend's house. Like everything's
Also,
so far
but
apart.
like in like country towns and like not as populated towns where you know houses are farther away and you don't necessarily live in a you know neighborhood, it would take 15 or 20 minutes to get your friend's house just because they live 15 or
20
20
miles
minutes away
away.
while you're going 50 miles an hour
It's
down
yeah,
the
it's
road.
not because of the traffic.
But here, it's literally you sit in traffic and it's like you're not moving.
Oh,
Yeah.
15 to
there's
20
Back to the
minutes.
same problem.
stoplight every,
yeah,
every
Too many people, man, and the roads
Half
cannot
mile.
support them.
But like, what's the
Yeah.
solution?
I don't know.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't
There's
know.
They're
I think
Jeez.
There has to be one
expand
eventually
the city
though.
limits. I don't know. Like,
I mean, they are building like more. Wait, what's I'm blanking.
Ondaw?
Yeah, Ondaw. Like they're building more into Ondaw and like
which is
That's
sad
good.
too because Ondaw's a
it's
beautiful
really pretty.
area.
Yeah,
I've
the nature.
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. And like you know how they built the new bridge? They're supposed to apparently this isn't like an estimation or like a fact, but I've heard from like a lot of people that like it's going to look like Mount Pleasant, how it looked before when like we were like younger, how you used to like ride your bike and stuff. It's going to look like that in like 5 years. Like it's going to start becoming like Mount Pleasant, like another Mount Pleasant.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, cuz like that's the only place they have to expand now.
Right.
Like there's Charleston, we're Charleston Part 2, and then there's like little baby Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah.
It's crazy. So going back to like the whole Wando parking lot.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
so we
sorry.
just get off on
Have
these
y'all
tangents.
experienced any like car accidents or like seen people?
I've seen people like hit each other a couple times. It hasn't been that much because I've only been driving
But
like,
still, like-
for a couple weeks. But it's yeah, and also like people are so rude. Like people just like honk. There's this
Get so
kid in B-Lot who
aggressive.
just like holds his horn down.
Oh my gosh,
all
and
the
they
time.
rev their engines
Yes, yeah, the kid who revs his engine all the time.
every single morning, and he drives like a Honda Civic.
I know.
Like, why are you revving your engine?
I know.
And like one time I was driving out of the parking lot, like I was literally this close out of the parking lot. Some guy in a giant Tahoe behind me literally comes at me full speed, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to get in a wreck. And I'm in my mom's car. I was like so
no.
scared. He had to slam on brakes, literally like touched my bumper. I've never been so mad in my whole
Yeah.
like I was so mad. I was like, these people are so stupid and immature.
There's a lot of like, all right, so Wando High School is smart. Like we're like one of the smartest ones in the state. We're still in the state of South Carolina. there's a
Which
lot
is,
of
like-
rednecks.
Oh.
A high concentration
Rednecks,
of-
Mount Pleasant rednecks.
Mount Pleasant rednecks, which means they got daddy's truck.
Camo.
Yeah, Daddy's money bought them a
High
truck and a
class
lift kit,
rednecks.
and
This-
they
again,
go.
these are all stereotypes.
Yeah. Isn't South Carolina like
But some-
really low in like the states of like
Yeah.
education?
We're like number 49.
And in driving.
Number
49 in
49.
driving too.
like
Rip.
like some stereotypes are true, and like the Wando
Yeah.
redneck
Yeah.
daddy's money truck is kind of true.
Yeah. Okay. One
definitely.
counterpoint. I haven't even like like road rage, like people getting mad and angry. So like someone cuts in front of you and you're like automatically like, oh my god, what a jerk, and you get mad at them. Like this I always thought like that. I was like whenever anyone like cut in front of me or my parents, I'd be like really angry and stuff because that's
But
just
then
like.
you do it, and you're like.
But I didn't do anything because I'm not like a confident driver, but also like when you think about it, like sometimes you accidentally cut in front of people and sometimes you like mess up, and so when I always would be like everyone else is like, oh, so like such a jerk, and then I would step back and be like, like a lot
you a
we
jerk?
think that people are angry because of like their cars. It's like, like I feel like so maybe like people
Assumptions.
assumptions or not even like that, but like we in our mind like a lot of people are like more aggressive than like they actually are, I don't know.
So going back to the whole parking lot, everyone, unless you're leaving at the very end of the day, we have these gates.
Yeah.
So if a lot of people I know have an early out.
Yeah.
So to leave through these gates, you need a parking pass, and it goes on your ID, and like you use that to get out, and like that's your car. You have like a parking pass.
Oh, this is
You're
an
just holding
idea.
up.
Blake Ellis, 4th block early out.
Yeah.
Right.
I know a lot of people that like those gates don't work, and
Yeah, I haven't heard about
like
that.
well, maybe I'm with like different friends, but
Yeah.
my friends, like I know them, like they hide in the back of trucks and like
Oh, yeah,
big
they
lifted
just-
trucks, and like they'll just like leave and go get Chick-fil-A.
Like they're just getting smuggled across the border. Like it's.
The gates actually hit my car before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like I was coming back
no.
and like the light was green to like I was coming to school.
Yeah.
I was trying to learn. And, like,
Trying to
and,
learn.
like the light was green, like there's a red, green light. It was,
Yeah.
like, green. I'm like, cool.
So you go.
I go.
Like, it was like gates up.
And
like
then
you're.
the gate was up, and it says go.
Psych.
I'm gonna go. Slams down. I have a soft top.
No. Oh
It-
no.
And it ripped it's like the size of a quarter on like the corner of my top,
Oh.
and it's like ripped. And I was like, hey, fix this. And they're like, we're not fixing that.
Yeah, because they're
Or,
like, it's not our
It was
fault.
kind of like, if you want parking for next year, then we're not gonna fix that. It was like this big problem. It was just like not worth it.
Dang, that's like not what's
That's
it called,
like
blackmail.
blackmail.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that bad.
But
it
like
was kinda
still,
like
yeah.
they didn't make it easy for me,
Mm.
and like I had to talk to everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
So and like the whole gate situation. So.
I have another thing about the gate situation. On your way into Wando, you need like some sort of like identification, or on your way out.
Yeah.
But they honestly let anybody into this school, and I'm on my safety.
Like anybody could come in and be like, "Oh yeah, here's my license." Like,
Exactly.
what's that
Or
gonna
they
do?
they
Like,
take or they like find another kid's like ID or something,
Like-
and then they come in.
Like I know what you mean. Like I've come here and be like, oh yeah, like I don't have my parking pass yet. So I walk in. I'm like, I could like do some damage.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
like-
think
So-
that all the time.
So what's the purpose of the gate? Is it to keep
Exactly.
like the good, like only good people going in, or like not letting people leave?
Yeah.
And if someone wants to leave,
I don't know.
They
Just
can
let
find
'em-
a way.
let 'em leave.
Okay, funny story. One time I was like outside like doing gym and I heard like the walkie-talkie, and over it like an administrator was like, someone's making a run for the bushes, go after them. And I see like 3 people sprint
I've seen
after
it.
this kid into the woods, and it was so funny.
I've seen
me.
that happen.
It
Like,
was probably me.
it's like some of the last days of school where it's like you don't really have classes, but you still have to
People
go.
just like, yeah.
Like
God.
I
People
like,
wander around.
I was like driving home because I was like, all right, I'm going home. And I was like driving home. I saw like kids like
yeah,
freshmen,
people are like
running
running.
through the bushes, like hopping the gates.
Sorry, that's really funny to me though. Like,
It well. So, what is the age where you don't legally have to go to school anymore?
like
I think it's like 16, isn't it?
I
Okay,
thought so.
Once
yeah.
you're after like 16, just take the let the kid have the absence and just like let them leave.
Oh,
man.
have you guys heard about the truant officers?
What?
Okay, so this is like what I this is what I know about it. I'm not like, I just heard this from people, so like don't take it as fact. But like truancy is like when kids like skip a
Yeah.
amount of
I've
school
heard about
where it's
that.
like too
Never heard
much.
this.
Okay, so basically it's like kids skip school a lot. Like a lot of seniors skip a lot of school because they're like done. They're like, oh, we don't need to be here anymore. And like usually it was like, oh, you get like some tardies or some absences, and it's like you're not supposed to be able to graduate if you like skip a certain amount, but like they didn't necessarily like enforce it a lot.
Yeah.
But this year apparently it's something like 5 days. Like if you're absent like 5 days or something and like no excuses, you're like you can't graduate from that class. Like you do
Yeah.
not pass that class.
Yeah.
And there's truancy officers that like
We'll come to your house.
yeah,
and
they
talk
will
to
go
your
look for
parents.
you and like arrest you or your parents if like you don't go to school, and like they go to your house and they try to like they walk around like town center like looking for kids who are skipping and stuff. And it's like
Yeah.
that's really aggressive. I don't
For
know. It's like a
5
lot.
days. Like I get sick maybe like 2 times a year, but
Yeah, and, like,
one
kids-
of those is the flu, and
Yeah.
I'm done. So
Yeah.
And kids don't go to the doctor to get doctor's notes. Like
Exactly.
I
I
don't
don't-
do that. My parents don't
Yeah,
let
like,
me
I
do
go
that.
to the doctor maybe like once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
and-
if I'm
and,
sick, like I'm like gonna be home for 2 days.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to the doctor because like I know it's just like a cold.
Yeah. So it's like
Because
So-
you
And
don't
you're
want to spend
unexcused, and it makes me
$200
so
going to
angry.
doctor's care because you
Yeah.
know that's how much it costs.
But then what happens is these kids who are sick, they say, I can't miss this test.
Yeah.
I'm just going in.
And they
It's
get
like-
more kids sick.
They get more kids sick.
Yeah.
It's like catch 22.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes me
yeah, the unexcused absence thing
triggered.
makes me mad.
5 absences. Like I know people who've had like 65 absences last year, and they didn't get anything. Now throwing it down to 5, like that's
That's too little. Like,
Here's
I
my
think
thing.
that's
too little.
If
Yeah.
if you are absent all the time, but you can make up your work and you have a good grade in the
Yeah.
class,
Yeah.
why would you fail? Like that's ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
Seat
I know
time.
it's for like school funding. Like if they don't have a certain number of kids show up a certain amount of days, we don't get school funding. But that's still like really extreme, you know?
5 days, like
Yeah,
Yeah, and if I have like my mom write me a note saying that I was sick, like it's like the attendance
They usually
ladies
won't-
automatically think that it's like forged or
yeah,
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
yeah. It's also annoying like when you like. Okay, this isn't necessarily pertaining to Wando, but I went to Cario middle
Yeah,
school,
mhm.
and I never went to the nurse because like I don't.
Oh, I was scared of her.
Yeah, I was because
Gosh.
no offense to the nurses here, but like just like the idea from like school nurses in like
Yeah.
movies, it's like scary. It's like they're gonna judge you and be like, oh, you're not sick. And so like the only time I ever went to the school nurse at Cario was I literally like threw up and I was like, I can't be here. And so I went to the school nurse and she did not believe me. And she was like, oh, you've only
That has
yeah.
happened
She was
so
like
many
looking to
times.
see how much I came, and she's like, well, this is your first time visiting, but I still don't trust you. And I was like, what? When like.
One time I went to the
why?
nurse because my throat hurt so bad. And she kind of looked at me and was like, I just started bawling my eyes out. I'm like, I just need to go home. Like, just please let me
they
go home.
they
I, like-
won't let you call your parents
No,
sometimes. I'm
yeah.
like,
That's why I just call my mom and, like, come pick me up. I don't even go to the nurse.
yeah.
I just tell her to come get me out of class. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I don't even go to the nurse.
Like I'm now getting so stressed for like unexcused absences and stuff. It's outrageous. Like school shouldn't have to stress you out like that much. Like of course like do the work for the classes and stuff, but I feel like sometimes teachers forget that you do have other classes and you do have a life outside of their class.
Yeah. It's like in Tribe Talk, we're gonna hopefully, if like, because we take trips, you know, to like go, in case you guys didn't know, we take trips to like go to like SIPA and like news, like
NSPA and CIPA,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
journalism conferences across the nation.
yeah, and like we do competition and stuff, and that like from last year, from like what I saw, like kids have to like leave during school, like they miss like a couple days before spring break for that, and like during school and stuff, and it's like some teachers make it seem like, oh, like you miss any days of this class and you're like behind. Like if I miss days of math, I'm not getting caught up because it's like so quick and so fast paced, and that's like a lot of our classes now. And it's like even when you miss school for things like Tribe Talk, like things, and then like people who do chorus things and band things and stuff, I feel so bad for them because it's like it's a commitment, like it's already a professional academic commitment they have made, and so they have to go, and it's also supposed to be like fun for them, but it's so stressful.
It's like you get punished
yeah
for doing things
For-
that
yeah.
you want to do. Like I get,
I'm not like I have to take like chemistry to be a senior or graduate or something, but I have to take it. It's not what I want to get into, but if I don't get like the seat time for it, then it doesn't mean anything, and that's
Yeah, and like I went on
That's
the journalism
annoying.
conferences last year, NSPA, and I was gone for like days, like almost a whole week. And it's like, I took AP classes last year, and like my AP teachers didn't care.
They don't
Yeah.
They
understand.
did, well, no, I don't think. Maybe they do understand.
But they're just like,
Maybe
my
they
class is
don't
more
care.
important.
Exactly.
They,
exactly.
yeah,
That's-
exactly.
I'm not saying that's all their mentalities, but like I've seen, they literally will say
Yeah,
that sometimes.
I'm not gonna call any teachers out, but like I didn't get help from
Yeah.
one of my AP classes. It
Like-
was just like
And it's like, for
it was
you,
like I was gone,
Yeah.
and then he's like, okay, hope you're ready for the test.
yeah, it's like you shouldn't have left. And I'm like, this is a
What do you
possible future
mean?
career. I want to like invest
Yeah,
time
exactly.
in this.
Like nothing against like a history class, but like I love film. I'm going to a film school. How many more history classes am I going to take?
I'm
It
not
got
going to
to-
Exactly.
remember any of
And
these
it got to the
guys.
point in the year where I saw this history class as not just a class for myself, but it was almost like this obstacle that got in the way of. It sucked up all my time from creating and making films.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing what
I can
actually
relate to
matters
that.
to you and your future.
I
And that's
understand
like
that's important.
like,
to, like being
high
well-rounded,
schools-
but-
like I'm not trying to hate on high schools and everything, but making you take these classes, I understand why you make them, like why you have to take them, like different maths and stuff to, because it's good to do math.
yeah,
whatever.
it's good to like
But-
diversify.
If you're gonna get punished because you are doing something else that's gonna benefit you more, but it's like all you're doing is doing these classes that you don't even care about. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just don't believe in that. I don't
Me
believe
neither.
in.
It's
Me
hard to
neither.
care about something that you really don't. Care
Exa-
about.
Exactly.
That's where
It's
you
hard to
sh-
care about
yeah.
something that you just don't care about.
Last
Like-
night, like my mom could tell that I was upset at something. And like, I honestly think that I just have found a loss of interest in just
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
I
kids
feel like
should
It's
enjoy coming to school.
yeah,
And
school you
all
get
that ever is
into
stress and kids cry.
you
and-
get into a
Oh.
routine, and that starts making you feel like I am such an overthinker.
Yeah.
It starts making you feel useless, like
it's
because you
Especially
start.
at a school with 5,000 people.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like
because you're
forced
just like everybody else.
forced learning. It's like kids, like I know a lot of kids that like love to learn on their own. Like I loved like when I was little to like learn about new things and like see like facts about like cool, interesting things. But then when you're like forced to learn, you don't like it as much because you don't get to like pick the topic, or it's like it's
yeah.
too much. It's like, it's like not your pace.
Mhm. And the thing, like, taking something like chemistry, for example, not hating on chemistry at all.
I am.
It's an important class. But the thing is, I had a quiz today, and I don't even remember what it was on.
Me neither. Me neither.
Like,
that's
yeah, I studied and worked my
Same.
butt off to do good on the
Same.
quiz, but after that,
Hold-
I don't care about it.
Like,
I'm not
a
gonna
lot of the
remember it.
information.
School's
is
about
not
grades.
even-
Hold
Yeah.
on. At the end of my test, there was this survey, and it had like a bunch of like check boxes and stuff, and it said I was prepared for this, I wasn't prepared for this, I studied, like I expected how hard this test was gonna be, and then the last box literally said, I was distracted by doing things that I find more important, and I was like,
Check.
The thing is, if you say that, the teacher's gonna be like, "My class isn't important to you," and like that whole thing.
I wrote in my own thing, and I said, really?
Really? Like,
That made me so upset.
Yeah, it's like school's about grades. Like everyone's just like
Oh,
grade,
the
get
school
the
system
grade,
is so
and so
flawed.
it's not necessarily about learning. It's about getting the grade, getting into the college, getting the GPA.
yeah,
Exact-
but then again,
And
it's
people
like,
think in different ways.
Yeah.
And that doesn't estimate how
it's
smart
like,
you are.
I remember I saw this thing on Facebook.
Mm.
It was like this guy who does like inspirational speeches. This is so random, but he literally, I about cried watching it because he was saying like forcing kids who don't learn in a certain way and forcing them to take a test and being judged on how they test is like trying to get a goldfish to climb a tree.
Yeah.
It's like,
Everyone's different.
know?
Like
Yeah.
everyone's
It is.
learning
If
style.
If you have the luck to think the way that the school system wants you to think, like you're flying by
Well,
A's and
it's not just like
but-
the school system. It's like each individual teacher.
Teacher,
Like, I
yeah.
know that like it's just not fair. Sometimes like
Yeah.
there's like the same class. Let's say it's a science class. Me and my friend took the same science class. I have a crazy teacher. He has a cool teacher.
exactly.
Yeah.
He has good grades, you
Yeah,
have
I
bad.
know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
and it's
It's like you could have a teacher that their style like doesn't work for you. Like I've had that before where they move too fast, they don't go in depth, they don't
Yep.
explain, and it's totally fine for other kids. But for me, I'm not like that. And they've been like, oh, like come like before school or like after school or like tutors. It's like this sounds bad, but I don't think I should have to do that in order to learn.
yeah.
Like this is I'm in this class to learn right now. I don't feel like I should have to like go before school every single day in order to actually like understand,
Right.
you know?
I have had and like still have teachers who are not passionate about learning, like, and I feel like a teacher should have to be able to cooperate with their students rather than just writing down everything that they do on the board and then making their students copy it and then study it later. That's not how things should be. I feel like they should like explain why these are the way that you're doing things.
I think that's a good spot to end off the first episode of Warrior Radio. So yeah,
Word.
Awesome.
thank you guys for your time, and thank you guys for listening. Tune in hopefully in the next couple weeks for Warrior Radio episode number 2. Bye.
All right. Bye.